I don't know if you've ever thought about it like this, but the more I do, the more I really kind of, realize I need to take a little bit more like personal ownership of how much time I'm spending on my phone, and not even just on my phone, but like what I'm watching on my phone, because I've been thinking about it like this. I'm sure people have a similar like grading scale, but this is how I can kind of describe a lot of social media, right? We have level 1 moving upward, so level 1 social media is what we think of as, I'd say, old school YouTube. So level 1 is just stuff that's kind of interesting and funny. It's not even like it's just like a clip of a cat doing something, or somebody doing a bike, or doing a backflip on a BMX bike, or like doing a kickflip, like an epic fail video compilation, or an epic win video compilation. The point of the video is just, it is interesting. Okay, I'm going to watch this because it's interesting. Good. And then there's level 2, where you add I'd say you add a little bit of a personal aspect to it. I think I'm in level 2. So level 2 would be, or level 1 social media working out would be just a random video of somebody working out. No clip, no editing, just like random workout stuff. Level 2 would be the guy talks about working out. He talks about what he's doing, why he likes to do it, everything that comes in and out along with it, and that's kind of the point. And I think level 2 social media is good. Like I've been watching a bunch of this guy's YouTube channel. It's called Wristwatch Revival. So every time I diet, I watch a bunch of watch videos, just because it's like interesting. It's like tinkering and like looking at all the gears and everything. So the guy does like an hour-long voiceover commentary video of himself taking apart like an old watch from like the 60s, or like a new one, or whatever. He takes a million little gears out. He talks about how you got to clean it, and you got to oil it, and then you got to put it together, and oh shit, lost a piece, crap, all right, now I got to order a new piece, things like that. Or This Old Tony, very similar theme, but the guy's a machinist, so with like lathes and gears and CNC whatever, stuff like that. The more of that kind of stuff that I watch, the better. That's like turning on the Discovery Channel and watching how it's made. Like, it's just what you're watching is why you're watching it. You're good. And what we have now gotten into, I bet right now currently we're at like level 6 social media, but level 3 is like fake pranks. Level 3 social media is like people making a video designed just to get your attention. Level 4 is like rage bait. Level 5 is just straight up like misinformation, just like lying to get views, and that is like dominating short form Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Reels, and every time I diet, like I don't even feel like I'm not, excuse my language here, but I don't really feel very bitchy right now from the diet. Like, I'm not walking around like just pissed off and like annoyed, but I am very sensitive to watching like just sleazy short form social media. Like, I'm watching it and it's making me upset, and I'm like, why am I even watching this? This is stupid. I should just watch like a show or something. I should watch Breaking Bad for the millionth time. That'd be a better use of of me to just sit on my phone while I'm doing my cardio. So that's all I'm trying to get at there. If you catch yourself watching a couple reels for a little more than like a minute or two, and it's like you don't even want to watch them. We're being programmed because your mind loves this, scrolling action. Why do you think every app uses the same method of like sliding through clips? It's because that is pretty well optimized to just get your freaking attention. So that's the current goal I have right now. Like, my screen time is pretty gross. I'm not going to show it to you. That's personal information. But I'm going to work on making sure that my Instagram, TikTok, or whatever is like minimum to freaking zero. So that's where I'm going to ask you a question here. Do you have any movie, TV show recommendations? And don't say Game of Thrones. I know about Game of Thrones. I'm gonna watch it. Don't say. Actually, I guess that's the only one I can think of. Everybody always says Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is on my list. Everybody's telling me I should watch it. I've been waiting a while. Maybe I will. We'll see. But I want to hear like some niche references. I want to hear like some movies not everybody knows about. You know, if you can get over the fact that it's animated, what you've got to watch is look it up. I don't know. It's kind of hard to find because it's not on Amazon. You're gonna have to find this on like a weird website where it's, you know, not like an illegal torrenting movie website or something, but it's called Vampire Hunter D. It's like this 80s animated, like, it's really cool. It's kind of like dystopian. If I've got a movie recommendation, check it out. Vampire Hunter D. That one is freaking cool. But that's just my little social media ramble because I've been catching myself get pissed off on my phone. What's the plan for right now? 97% sure it's hamstrings. I gotta look back because I don't remember if I think I did quads last time. Not hamstrings. No. I can't remember. I don't know, because I'm doing hamstrings and quads in an alternating fashion. So I'm only hitting quads once a week and hamstrings once a week on alternating bases. So whether it's hamstrings or quads, either way, it's not going to change what this workout is going to look like. It's not going to be my wildest lift, of course. Probably just 5 sets of either leg extensions or leg curls, because right now I'm not, like, there is no growth. There's no growth happening right now. You know, some coaching kind of bodybuilder style guys are going to say, oh yeah, you can grow into your show. Like, really? Three weeks out, I'm going to grow? No, not exactly. I'm as big as I'm going to be. All I need to do is make sure I hold on to my size as I get leaner. So in terms of quad maintenance, at this point, at least for this temporary period of just actual bodybuilding competitions, quads and hamstrings kind of gets put on not the back burner, but the intensity gets dropped a little bit, which isn't really cool to say. You know, I'm not trying to hype up like, oh, I'm going easy on my training, but it is just kind of, you know, the necessary aspect of it. So all of the difficulty that would come with a hard off-season leg day has now been transferred to, you know, me not blowing my diet outside of the gym. You know, so now I've got a little bit of extra time and energy spent on that dieting side of things, which just gets balanced out. Because for me to do an off-season bulk, the food part, this is not a challenge whatsoever. Like, let's say these are my 2 bars: effort in training, effort in dieting. In a bulk, it looks like this. The dieting effort is minimum because all I have to do is eat. I want to eat. It's sweet. And the training effort is maximized because I'm like, dude, I want to train like a freaking nutcase right now. But when I'm dieting, those two levels kind of reach an equilibrium, where I'd say the training is probably just about as much effort as the diet itself. And don't forget the freaking, you know, cardio sessions as well. Like, I'm spending more time doing cardio than I am doing anything weight-based, like almost 2 to 1. Like, this workout's going to take maybe 45 minutes, and today I'm doing 2 hours of cardio. Now, I'm not doing like sprints. All I'm doing is like 3 mile an hour treadmill walk and the seated bike. So, you know, I'm not running marathons here, but it is, you know, just spending my time at an elevated heart rate. But I think nothing else to say. This, even just waking up this morning, brushing my teeth, looking at myself in the mirror, I'm feeling dry. So last year, pre-show, I was walking around like 228-ish the week before competition. And this morning, 230, flat on the dot. And I'm leaner than I was back then. So that is a good situation. Heavier and leaner is exactly what I freaking want. So I think there's nothing else to get into. Let's get this leg day started, or this half leg day started at least. All right, here's the plan. I don't know. Okay, you know, not to like totally contradict myself like that, but sometimes the Arsenal laying curl is a little bit too heavy, and I feel like I put like a lot of momentum into the reps, even when I go a little bit lighter. Whereas this machine has much more positive leverage, if you feel me. So like if there's 30 pounds on that stack, it feels like 30 pounds on my heels. Whereas if there's 30 pounds on this stack, it might feel like, more like 15 pounds, and that's what I want, like especially dieting down and I'm just aiming for like lighter squeezing movements. That's when I'm going to do like a, single arm pull down on the cable stack rather than maybe on the regular lat pull down. Because 1 pound on a pull down feels like a pound in my hand. But 1 pound on the cable stack with the pulleys only feels like, what? Half? Not a quarter, about half. But either way, these are going to be just light squeezing, burning, nothing really crazy. I'm only doing 145, so just about half the stack. And then we'll go from there. All right, come on. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's just run that back like 4 more times. Same weight, same everything. Okay. Oh. Yeah. I think 3 more-ish, and then we'll see how we feel. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Poof. Yeah. Poof. Ah. Okay. Oof. Holy crap. Yeah, shit. 1 more and then let's see how we're looking. I'm going to get a little bit nastier with these at the end. Not nasty in like a bad way, but I just mean taking the partials a little bit further. And, you tell me if you disagree. But even dieting, I feel like the more pumped that whatever muscle I'm hitting is or gets throughout the lift, the less specifically I have to really squeeze to feel like I'm getting productive reps done, On a chest day, I'm going to start with, let's say a converging chest press is movement number 1. So one where, the weight kind of comes in, maybe I only do, 3 plates or something, like a weight that I can really squeeze So in the beginning, when I'm fresh, I've warmed up, of course, I want to make sure I really squeeze every rep and hold it for like, maybe 2 seconds. Then burn out with some partials, finish the set. But towards the end of the lift, like the last set of whatever I might be doing, maybe it's a pec deck or like a cable fly or something, well, I'm already so pumped at that point, I almost don't feel like I get as much out of like squeezing every rep. And I get a little more out of doing like slightly quicker, more brutish reps that just have a lot more like tension-based focus in the muscle that I'm hitting. Not to say that's the way to do it, but I think there's a value in changing up your style set by set kind of throughout the lift. So if you're a guy who's always catching himself doing light, squeezing, holding, burning, maybe throw in, a little heavier, a little nastier. I'm not saying nasty like bad, but just on the more brutish side of things. The last thing you want is for your training to get freaking stale. But I think this is going to be it. Let's just actually do it and find out. All right. Okay. All right, that's all. Let's see how we're looking. I know not the craziest lift, but what are you going to do? All right, there we go. Yeah, so only 5 sets of seated curls. Pretty light squeezing anyway. And in between, I just grabbed onto a machine for balance and just did 10 reps of body weight calf raises, right leg, left leg, right leg, left leg for a few. Just for a little bit of an extra calf pump, just kind of for funsies. But yeah, let's see how legs are looking. And this morning, looking at myself in the mirror, unpumped on anything, I felt like I looked pretty dry. So let's see if that translates to this pump as well. There we go. Yeah, right in the freaking middle. And, whoa, no surprise, I believe that it freaking has. All right, let's see how the left quad stomp's looking. All right, I think I'm actually in the territory of some glute striations now. Nothing like nuts, but any glute striation is still pretty freaking crazy. Yeah, see, that's what I'm fucking talking about. That is legit glute striation. I've kind of been cheating the system, like maybe you could see a little. No, this time, those are some freaking booty lines. Just, just to be freaking brunt with it. But that is crazy. So don't forget, this is also, a little side shot, like how my, side chest is going to look. But this is not water cut at all, So for me to do my pre-show day kind of like water carb fluctuation, 2 things are going to change from this current look. So, me standing right here, we got quads, we got veins. I've never seen my calves this veiny either. Like, if anything, they're really kind of, I don't want to say the star of the show, but they've definitely got some shit going on, more than I have ever seen. Plus, hamstrings are just fucking, holy crap. I thought they were kind of tore up last time I checked them out. Oh, geez. Yeah, that's fucking sick. So I should still be in focus. Like, look at all the different lines in here. Like, I can actually see that my hamstring isn't just one chunk of meat. It's like this outer portion, an inner portion, a medial portion. Like, check it out. Oh my goodness. And then probably the same thing on this side. I can't really, I can't really see it. I need like a second mirror and a handle to hold on to. Oh, geez. But what I was about to say was, what's going to change from how I look right now to show day, I'm going to get a little leaner between now and then. But I'm going to be thinner, or I'm going to have a thinner skin layer. So this layer of skin and body fat separating muscle to, well, just what we can see right here on the outside. From pulling my water, I'm going to be able to thin that out a few, I don't know, like just pinchable. If I did a caliper, this pinching thickness will probably thin out by like half, maybe more than half. So I'm going to be like just visually leaner, and I'll also be about 15 fucking pounds, maybe not 15, but at least 10 pounds heavier than I am right now, because I will have eaten a crazy amount of carbs and actually carved up. Like, this is flat. All those poses were as flat as I'll ever be. So to still look that full, for me at least, is freaking crazy. So I think nothing else to say. Let's just get in the car, and I'm going to go home and do some basement bike pedaling. So let's go check it out. There we go. All right, minor pit stop to get some freaking pickup sashimi. A nice 50 grams of protein worth of tuna, plus a whole bunch of freaking ginger. And this is something which I did not used to care for, but now when I'm eating sushi, or at least sashimi when I get a ton of it, dude, I'm slamming the ginger. Like, I'm talking maybe a half cup minimum worth of just diced ginger, like a big ass piece with every piece of tuna. I don't know. It's good. I didn't used to think it was good, but now I'm freaking loving it. But yeah, so hour of cardio complete. I didn't get to take a picture of the full hour though, because the treadmill automatically powered off once it hit the 30-minute mark, because it was only scheduled for 30. I forgot I had to like increase the intended time to 60, which is a little bittersweet, because it's actually not even bittersweet, it's bitter, because I want to see the full 60 minutes. If I just did the full 60 minutes, I don't want to look at the timer and have it say 30 when I really did double that, on the second session, of course. And it kind of just throws you out of the groove, So I cover up the screen. I'm not looking at the time at all. And then out of nowhere, boom, the incline drops, speed crashes to nothing. I'm like, what, did I just hit the emergency stop? No, not exactly. But yeah, I'm getting excited to come back home to the computer and see what my freaking hamstring was looking like. Because for me to have glute striations without having gone through like a full water cutting carb up, ooh, that's dangerous for me. Relative to the level of leanness I've ever been at, for me to see that look today is crazy. Which I know I kind of always say that. I'm like, every off season I'm hitting a chest pump and I'm like, okay, this is the most pumped I've ever been in my life. Or now I'm coming in and I'm like, this is the leanest my legs have looked ever in my whole life. But it kind of is, because every bulk and every cut that I've done so far has been propelling me forward, So this is my rate of progress right here. Positive, upward. Now, it's not a flat linear line. It's more of like these kind of mountainous climbs. So bulk, now I'm here at a new peak weight. Diet, I'm heavier than I was before and just as lean, if not leaner. Same thing. Kind of keep climbing the mountain like that. And of course, last off season, I was saying the same thing. Like, whoa, this is the craziest chest pump I've ever had in my life. Freaking big. As big as I've been, not as heavy. Like, I wasn't 270 this off season like I was 2 off seasons ago. But I was leaner. So really, 2 off seasons ago was just a little bit of a fatter Sam, that's for sure. But yeah, no, it feels good to be this weight at this moment in time, and at this weight and at this level of leanness. That is for sure. So I got the trifecta working for me. So over these next 2.5 weeks, I would like to see, Yeah. Morning weight 230. I've kind of been sort of bouncing around that 230, 228. I'm definitely at my leanest right now. Like, this is my kind of leanest, flattest, solid look. Around like 2,600 calories, 2,650-ish. It's kind of, it goes up and down a little bit. But yeah, so if I'm floating around 230 now, in 2 weeks' time, I'd like to see a 228, maybe a 228.5. Just a little bit leaner than currently. Not insane. I'm over these next few weeks, I'm not digging, trying to starve myself down or anything like that. But just I can get rid of a little extra body fat, just a touch, and then ease into showtime. That is all I need to do, which is very good. It is a very good situation. Obviously, I'm not talking from the experience of like a 20-year bodybuilding coach or like a 30-year career bodybuilder who's done a million different preps. But I'm pretty sure this is a just statement. It is a good situation to be in where you don't have to start doing any fucking tricks. You don't have to try to pull a prep out of your freaking behind in the last 3 weeks before a show. That's where shit starts to hit the fan, or at least has a much higher potential to. I've heard stories of guys where, not from the guy themselves, but like from different promoters where they're like, yeah, I was promoting for this one show 10 years ago, and this guy came in overweight, and the morning of the show, or the morning of weigh-ins, he wrapped himself up in trash bags and sat in his car at full heat for 2 hours, and then he made weight and he won the show. It was crazy. Having to do some shit like that is certainly not ideal. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, but that's like the guy who's almost saying a flex of like, oh dude, I stayed up all night last night to finish my finals project. I did it. As though that is somehow better than the guy who just worked on it gradually and spent an hour a day working on it for the last few weeks, and then he finished it early. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy who comes into the gym and says, oh dude, man, I stayed up all night and I'm still in the gym. Like, yeah, it would have been better if you went to sleep though. Like, what are the priorities here? But now I'm just getting into a ramble. Holy crap. Goose galore. I'm easily looking at 500 geese right now, just spread across this freaking field. All the snowy coolness, winter wonderland, is beginning to thaw. Right now it's 34 degrees out, so a little bit over melting. So we're going from winter straight out of the Arctic back to regular kind of Gloomsville. But that's okay. That's okay. There is no amount of gloomy weather or dreary clouds that could freaking put a bruise on my enthusiasm right now. That is for freaking sure. The only thing that would maybe put me down a little bit is if I got struck by lightning or something. And probably not going to happen. Probably not going to freaking happen. I keep thinking that I just talked for 30 minutes and then I didn't have the microphone on. Either way, good lift. I'm excited to see how cut up my legs look. And shit. I will see you I get some chest tomorrow. That's going to be a good one.